than you could on your own, right? Especially if you're not super familiar with the area, whereas he is. Yeah. So that's really cool. So JVing like that can be very powerful. It's an awesome strategy. I highly recommend it, especially when you're newer in the business. So like, let's say that I wasn't here and I didn't know Michigan or anything, and you just found this deal. Tying into a guy like him or a couple different wholesalers that are super active could be all you need to do.
Yeah.
Because what you can do is in the beginning, you can just focus on finding deals. Know that you got a couple of really good JV partners. You feed them your deals. Let them go find the buyers and close them. Like, that way you're not worrying about the cash buyer, and you can just focus on deals.
That's good.
Yeah. And then eventually you want to build your own buyer list, and but so you never want to use JVing as a crutch. A lot of people use it as a crutch, meaning they're just being lazy to develop their own buyer list, and they just keep taking their deals to the go-to guys. They don't mind; they love it because you're feeding them deals and they got buyers. But if you're in this for the long haul, then eventually you want to create and build your own list of awesome buyers.
Okay.
So because it takes effort, like it's work to cultivate and build that list. Just like Brian's doing with agents, you kind of have to do the same thing with buyers. Not to that extent, but you want to stay in front of them. You want to know who they are. Every day there's new buyers coming into the market. So you're constantly doing lead gen to build your list, all of that. So guys, feedback, questions, we're live here. We want you to participate. So Tyler, help us manage this. You're pulling them up, right, Tyler?
Yep. Here's one from Marcus again.
Do you still comp through Zillow, Redfin, et cetera, or do you rely upon PropWire? PropWire, what's your opinion on its accuracy in comparison to PropStream? So I don't know PropStream too well because I don't use that service. But Tyler, if you give me my screen right now. So when you when you go to the comps tab up here at the top, when you're on an individual property, it's got your map feature here. You can zoom out. It'll give you a radius, or you can draw. So like in this case, I wouldn't cross the freeway, and we're like right in here somewhere in the middle. So maybe what I would do is if I draw, I would click the draw feature, and then I'm gonna turn it off. You click your points. So maybe I go down like this, and then hit enter. So I can create my own custom area that I want to comp, like I just did. And then what I like about what we did in PropWire, that's different than like Redfin, is we made sure we had a basement and garage filter where I can say on here, no basement, so I can say no basement, and then I can say, yes, I want a garage. I can do some year built. So some of these filters are normal. I can do a range on my square feet close to my property. And then what's cool here is, so these are the comps kind of in this area. Let's say that I really like this 260 comp. Here's how I go fast at this. And I was showing Jonathan this the other day. I'm not even going to look at any of these. I'm just going to pick the ones I like the higher priced ones. I'm not going to pick this low one at 150. I know I'm going to be somewhere in the over 200 range ARV. So if I just pick these two comps, it automatically does my average for me. And it's basically averaging between whatever I click on. So let's say I click on this lower one at 205. You'll see it'll readjust my number. It's grabbing the price per square foot, which is probably why I brought it up. But see, like if I keep clicking on these, it's going to readjust it. So you just kind of got to go through and see what kind of comps you want to look at. Maybe I open up this range a little bit more because it's kind of, there's more space out here. So like, let's say I clear this. Maybe I want to go all the way up to the top here and go all the way down to here. Something like that. That might have given me a few more. Let's see let me make sure I got filters in here. Single family. Yeah, I might want to move this up to not a year, go 6 months or so. So not a ton of comps over here. It's a little spread out, but yeah, so just play around with it and see kind of what you like. That's
we did have a comment, Jerry, that I think it was Jay was saying that some of the comps he's found on PropWire have inaccurate bedrooms, baths, or maybe they claim to be sold but are inaccurate. So he's had to kind of cross-reference some of the comps.
Yeah, we're working on how we can get the information with on market a little more real time. I've noticed that too, where there's some delays in some of the updating some of the listings and stuff. So yeah, that I've seen that too a little bit. So we'll work on that. But like if I take out, so look at what happens if I put in basement. So that gives me a bazillion comps. So I may check some of those and make sure that they, in fact, don't have a basement. But these two here, this is like my favorite one right here. Oh, it doesn't give me much on that, like picture wise and stuff. But this sold for, I think it said 250. Oops. I accidentally closed down the screen. But yeah, the comp tool is pretty cool. And so check that out, play around with that. And again, what you do is you check these boxes and then it will update your value. And then you can even download that into a CSV. So sometimes you might want to send that to somebody and it'll have a list of the comps. What's the typical percentages for what you just did there on a JV? How much is he making?
This is referring to your phone call.
Yeah. So typically a JV is you 50-50. You don't have to 50-50. I could say to him, hey, I could say, give me 115 and I'll give you 10. Then he gets 10 and then we get the other, whatever, 25 or whatever it is. Sometimes you can do that on a JV. But typically the way the industry does it is you split it. So whatever your, gross wholesale fee is, you split that with your JV partner. When you first start it, it'll ask you light, average, or heavy, and it's got an algorithm for that. So I've got a video that explains, how we break down the numbers, but it's basically a certain cost per square footage range. And then as the square foot range changes, the rehab number changes. Yeah, there you go. You can get that, by the way, you can get this for free. You don't have to be part of Flipster if you want just the calculator. It's mydealanalyzer.com and it will kind of do this for you. But like in this case here, this one you're looking at, Jonathan, it's got it at 308 on the ARV. This came up with a 62.5. So I'm going to guess that was, do you remember? Was that a light, average, or heavy? Probably average. It was average. Yeah, because it's pretty big square footage. So this one calculated 62.5 on an average rehab for that square footage. And then it runs your other numbers and it kind of tells you where to be. So yeah, this one's pretty far under where they're asking. And then you can put your wholesale fee in here, whatever you want to make on the wholesale. I like to put 15,000 as just your base, like minimum. You can go for more, but you really don't want to be making offers on stuff for less than a $15,000 wholesale fee. So then you would need to get this. If these numbers were all accurate, you would need to buy this for 138 with an ARV of 308.
And the ARV was the way I got that was from PropWire.
Okay, so you comped it on there.
I didn't use the comps on Dealan on Flipster. I just went straight to PropWire and comped it and then put it there. And I did a really quick job, so I wasn't
looking at them all.
All my comps.
Yeah. So remember, guys, when you're making offers, you wanna go fast, right? So it's the same idea Brian was sharing earlier. You can't be on the phone for hours, and Brian was on that call like 2 minutes. What was it, Brian? It was like 2 minutes or something.
Like 155 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're boom on to the next one. So I have the same idea around comping.
Yeah.
So like one thing that I built recently that I've shared on YouTube, guys, is this super fast offer calculator. And this, I don't have this yet into a software. We'll put it into a software here soon. But basically the way this works is I'll just get the averages. So you could grab an average also off of PropWire.
It doesn't tell you the average. Check right on the.
Yeah, if you plug these numbers in, it'll tell you the average right here. And then what I like to do is I like to come up with an exit formula. Just an exit meaning this is where a buyer would want to be. And then I've got my built-in wholesale fees I want to make. And then it just